I'm just wondering, like, if you had to start from scratch today, would you focus more on the commentary style of like being in front of a camera for 4 hours streaming, or would you go for like the main channel that you do, which is like a very focused, artistic, intentional piece of content that you post like maybe once every week or two, every 2 weeks?
See, I kind of like the route that I took, even though that the streaming is way more profitable. And I can be honest with you guys because you're in here. I've made more in the last like 2 months than I've made in the past like year just doing the main channel stuff. The streaming is way more profitable. You're able to repurpose content, and it's been able to make you be able to compete with the giant whales of YouTube that have so much fucking money and they can invest and shove 1,000 Orbeez up their asshole and donate 10,000 pizzas to a homeless guy. Like beforehand, it was really hard to compete with them, but streaming has been able to, like if I can be entertaining for 4 or 5 hours, I can entertain better than those whales on YouTube. But I like the fact that streaming is secondary to what I really do. Streaming is not, I don't see it as an end goal. I do see it as a way, I love doing it. It's like, it's definitely a calling, but I would not start with it. I would start personally, and it's not probably the best route if you want to get financial gain right away, but I don't think people will take you seriously now if you just get into streaming. It's very hard to get into that unless you're a gamer or unless you're doing e-dates or stuff like that. But the stuff that I'm doing, social commentary, I think people only take it seriously because I had a million on YouTube beforehand and I had the YouTube connections and I had a history and I knew how the online game worked and everything. And it's like I don't need to fall back on streaming. It's like it's always something secondary, which I think has helped me drop my self-esteem when it comes to doing it every single day. Does that make any sense? I'm saying that because it's secondary, it's like I don't need it. And because I don't need it, it makes me better at it. That's the same thing when it comes to being funny or doing stand-up comedy, or someone like Speed who's so great at streaming, is that he doesn't give a fuck. And he doesn't ever try to be funny. He never calls himself a comedian. He just is funny, and he's just doing it because he likes doing it. So the point is that you need to have a level of I don't give a fuck in order to be entertaining. And so when you really want it like you, I think it's going to show. And so if you start streaming, there's going to be like a sense of guys, like I notice a lot of these business guys who start getting into streaming because they want to get into content creation. They make they turn on the camera and you could tell that they're very aware that they just turn the camera on. They start brushing their hair a certain way. Like, oh, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here. And they start talking like it's a business call and they get kind of weird. It's too forced. So I would recommend for my style, and this would not translate to everybody, but I think the best advice would, it should be secondary to something else. It shouldn't be you shouldn't try to make it your bread and butter, or else you're going to care too much and it's going to be obvious.
All right, thanks, bro.
Next.
I don't have much of a question. I'm just here pretty much for networking. I own patent pending. Me and my brother own patent pending system for aeroponics. It's like to be able to grow plants, and so I've been able to find some good people here. I'm gonna be making the videos soon, so I found an editor type of deal. So
That's dope.
I'm just here for the networking.
SNEAKO, my question to you is, I've seen a lot of strategies where it's like you put on a front to be rich and you put on this front and you sell courses or you sell whatever. Would you rather do that for the short-term benefit, but
No, that's selling out. I don't recommend putting on a front. And I'm getting a lot of those accusations, people saying that I'm lying or that my ideas are changing or I'm a hypocrite. I'm not lying at all. I'm not putting on a front for anything. I am just not ever set in stone fully with what I believe in. I think that I like to change and I like to think with my audience. And I've noticed that growing the streaming audience, there's a lot of people that look up to me. And so when I change my mind on something, they get really upset. They're like, you flipped, you switched. Like, bro, I just turned 24. Like, you're able to change your opinion on something. You can go through things, and I don't want to become a guru. I don't want to become an alpha male role model. Like, I want to be a good example for people, but I think part of that is being able to show that you could change your mind, that you could grow, and also that you shouldn't look at a YouTuber and think that they know everything. I don't. I'm just a fucking dude. If I was talking to you in real life, you would not look up to me. You look up to me because I'm on a screen talking every single day, and I'm right about a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, I could be wrong about stuff too. So maybe that is a good example of somebody in a way that I don't know everything, that I'm able to grow and change my mind and to adapt and to learn different things and to take in new information. I don't ever want to be the person who's like, I know exactly what it is, because humans are inherently flawed. So no, I wouldn't ever try to go the route of like, oh, I'm in my garage, these are my cars, these are my books, because you'll get exposed and then you'll not, you won't love doing it. And what you have to do when you get into content creation, a lot of these business guys who are trying to get into this, is you have to love doing what you're doing. And so they do these calls, and they kind of like turn the business calls into streams and stuff like that. But it's like, it needs to be you, or else you're going to burn out. That's why I've never burned out. Like, I take breaks just because, like, bro, the internet's fucking crazy. It's a crazy place. It's good to go outside too and to stay sane. But I will never burn out because I'm not trying hard. Like, I don't have to think that hard about it. I'm really turning on the camera and saying what the hell's in here. That's the best way to approach this. And I think that's something that the business guys miss when they get into this, because the way I hear about it, like even the guy talking before saying he's getting here for networking, they do it because they want to have a good way to funnel traffic into their business. And so they think of it like a bit, and that's what turns people away a lot of the time. At the end of the day, like, yes, it's a good place to funnel traffic into your business, but also it's entertainment first and foremost. Yes, you can get traffic from TikTok. Yes, you can get brand deals. Yes, you can have an audience, but it's entertainment. And if you don't prioritize that, you're going to burn out.
Okay. All right.
Next question. Somebody.
SNEAKO, do you watch a lot of music videos, and creatively, like, what do you kind of think would be best going into one? I work in the music industry, work with a lot of artists, independent. Used to shoot a lot of videos, but I'm getting more back into it, so kind of wanted your perspective on that.
Yeah, I watched a lot of music videos, and I watch a lot of different types. I'm into a lot of different genres of music, and I think before I answer that question specifically, I think it's good to repurpose it in general. The same way in business, where if you're in marketing, you need to go like read the newspaper, you need to go read different things, you need to look at the charts of all types of businesses, you need to talk to different people, you need to know the world. If you wanted to get into advertising, you need to know a lot about people, you need to know a lot about things so that you have a general idea about a lot of different subjects you're able to communicate with people. I see the same thing when it comes to art. I watch a lot of different music videos, I take in a lot of different music and all types of art. I analyze different things, and I think the internet has become very binary, where people are surprised that I could even talk to somebody like Destiny who's different than me. It's good to have things in your life. It's good to try different things. It's good to talk to different people. It's good to ingest different types of art. And yes, I listen to and watch a lot of different types of music videos. For example, when I was learning how to edit a lot, I was watching a lot of A$AP Rocky and OG tapes, and that's actually how I learned Adobe Premiere.
LSD video, especially.
LSD, I think all of them. Especially the OG tapes, AWGE, the OG DVD tapes have really cool editing. The LSD is good, but the OG tapes are a good example of how you could turn footage, and this is advice for all the editors in this call, how you can turn average footage into something that's really, really cool. Watch the AWGE OG DVD 1, 2, and 3. Those tapes are really good. So this is how I learned Premiere. I watched those. They're like 30 minutes long each, and every time there was an effect that I didn't know how to do, I would look it up, a YouTube tutorial, especially from Justin Odisho. But there's so many different types of YouTube tutorial people like analyzing A$AP Rocky videos specifically. I would watch those, study it, and then try to learn the effects in there, because a lot of the footage is average. They use like shitty cameras. They're in a parking lot. They're in different places. They took footage from all different types of places, and they found a way to link it together and make this cohesive thing. So a lot of it's phone footage, stuff like that, but it's a great example of how you could turn mid footage into something that's really cool. So yes, it's important to watch all these types of. And I've made music videos before. I've edited music videos, but I'm not even a rapper. But that's a good example of how I took in that information and applied it to myself into something that's completely different. That's good advice for everybody in here. Even if you're not completely into content creation, that advice is universal. You should take in a lot of different information, and that's how you'll get inspiration that other people don't have.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, SNEAKO, I have several quick questions written down, like from a couple days ago. Is it okay if I hit you with some of them? Is there anybody who has multiple questions, or am I the only one?
Start with two. Start with two. If it gets dry, then we'll go back to you.
All right, thanks. Okay. I wanted to ask you about the special guest next month. Can we get Hamza, for example, next time?
Yeah, I think you'd be down for that.
All right. What happened with you and Too Mad? You planned to do a stream with him, and the Muslim controversy happened.
Too Mad, he seems a little bit nervous to get on here. But these are not really networking questions. These are more like content questions. A lot of people in here.
I'll pick a networking one.
Yeah. People here want to learn how to make money and how to create. So what else you got?
Okay. So last time you? Sorry, this is
Maybe I can
this is
answer.
kind
You
of
know what?
insane.
Let me try to answer your 2Mad question to apply to everybody in here. 2Mad's a really funny YouTuber. He's one of the funniest, and I really respect his content. But I think he's afraid of my chat. I think he's afraid of my types of questions. I think he's actually afraid of my stream to a certain sense, because I think a lot of content creators, when they get really funny, they kind of create a character and they don't know how to be themselves. So if you're always memeing and you're always bruh and you're just ADHD running around, stuff like that, and you live in the funny, then you don't really have to be yourself. My content is kind of a combination of both. I'm entertaining, but at the same time, there's serious tones, and I talk about serious subject at the same time. I'm not afraid to talk about serious things. Guys like 2Mad, for the most part, he has touched serious subjects, but he's so deep into the character of 2Mad that when it comes time to talk about something real, it's like he doesn't know what to do, because the funny is a defense mechanism in a certain way. It's kind of like a wall preventing you from being your true self. So at the same way where these business guys in here in this call want to start content creation so that they can funnel traffic into their website or whatever, they're all serious and they don't know how to be entertaining. Guys like 2Mad are so entertaining that they don't know how to be serious. The best advice and the way to answer this is to find a balance of everything. And even you talked about Hamza's all serious all the time. Like when I asked him what he considers himself on that stream we just did, he says, I'm a leader. Like the guy takes himself extremely seriously. And now he's live streaming. And the reason that I will it's going to take him a little longer to do well live streaming is that he doesn't know how to drop the Hamza character, which is not a defense mechanism like comedy is. It's more of it's putting up he wants to be a leader. He wants to be a full role model. He doesn't know how to take an L spam. He doesn't know how to yell back at the camera. He doesn't know how to go back and forth with the chat. There's so many different ways to interact with your stream and to interact with your audience. And Hamza only knows one way. 2Mad only really knows one way. If you want to have longevity in this, and this is my advice, you need to be able to tap into every single type of market. Fitness, business, comedy, everything. If you can touch every single avenue, then you'll never fall off.
Do you think, pause on this, but do you think like your pretty privilege helped you in YouTube or hurt you?
Both, because a lot of the people you see it now, people say like, I don't take your advice seriously because you're good looking or like you're tall. But I think those are just mostly like, lonely black pill, like guys who watch wheat waffles all day. I don't really take that with a grain of salt. I think it has pros and cons, because a lot of people will try to discredit the success you have because I'm good looking, but I don't think that. Bro, I don't think men care about that. I don't think men, unless you're gay, but I don't think anyone here in this call is gay. People are in here for the stuff that I'm talking about. And I was talking about this with my girl. Ultimately, what's more important to connect with other people is charisma. That's what comes first, is your personality. And I was thinking about this yesterday. We were just talking about this at dinner with Destiny. It does help you become more charismatic because you don't have to fight that wall of, if you're a really fat dude, then you always have to work around being the fat dude. And you can end up being more charismatic because you know how to bob and weave being called fat all the time. But if you're good looking and tall, you don't need to worry about that. And so it's probably easier for you to be charismatic in the first place. But ultimately, personality and charisma triumphs it all. And it doesn't really matter how good looking you are unless you're trying to maintain a female audience. But at the same time, you see a lot of these soy boys who have a bunch of female audience. They're not even, they look like normal dudes. It doesn't really matter that much what you look like unless you're really afraid of what you look like. What's more important is if you think you're ugly so much, then it's going to translate it to the camera and people are going to feel uncomfortable because you look uncomfortable. What's ultimately more important is how comfortable you are with the camera.
Facts. And you can tie in that fat dude thing with 2Mad. He's fat and he made tons of jokes about him being fat. He stopped being self-conscious. He made it a meme.
Well, don't you? I mean, I feel like that's kind of like you get unrealistic because you get all these clout and followers and then you're fat at the end of the day, right? I mean, you're not really the person that you can ultimately be, right? You're only half-assing it.
Yeah, that's why he's a little bit afraid of coming on my stream, I think. Not to call him out, but something like that he won't be able to meme his way out of. See, on his channel, because he's getting in much better shape, but when he was really fat, he'd just be he'd just fall out of his chair, I'm hence, I don't know, he would just joke around it, but it wouldn't last that long. If you're in a conversation with somebody, you can't hide behind memes. That's my point.
Okay, facts.
Facts. So if he's afraid of your chat, maybe you can just hop on his stream.
Does he still stream?
He used to be streaming quite often.
Okay, I'll stream with two, Matt, bro. I get the point. Do we have another question?
Anybody else?
Jesus.
So, a quick question. Oh, does somebody else have a question?
I do, but you can go ahead.
Just a quick question. So I'm an artist and a singer, so basically a musician. If you were in my position, starting from scratch, how would you start to promote yourself authentically?
TikTok.
And I have another question after that.
TikTok's the way to go. You can cut out the middleman there. There's a good case study from Musa about that. I actually want to add more videos about that specifically, but TikTok is a cheat code right now with something like music. I think a good example about how to gain popularity like that, the day where I had the most amount of subscribers ever, I gained like 35,000 subscribers in one day when people thought I got jumped. When I was doing Steezy's short film and I had makeup on my face that looked like I got beat up, people fucking lost their minds and love that type of shit. It's kind of the same thing when a rapper dies, they start blowing up, or when a rapper goes to jail, they really blow up. People like that type of controversy. So it sucks now, but people like to attach an idea. People like to attach. It's almost like if you catch a body, people take your rap lyrics more seriously. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not telling you to go catch a body, but they want to have a story to think about while they're listening to your music, because there's so much music out there. Everybody thinks it's corny and fake. So if you can have an element of real, if people know who the artist is, then they can relate to the music more and they take it more seriously. So I would recommend becoming a personality as coinciding with your music. And TikTok is a good way to do that.
And then just one more question. What are some of your favorite books that helped you see things in a wider perspective?
I would say The Game. There's this book, The Game, that I read back in college, a freshman year. It's about these corny pickup artists, like who in Vegas, stuff like that. These guys like who are 5'4", who put on like stilts and like feather hats and shit like that. And they figured out how to talk to women, and they learned how to develop charisma. And they really, even though they're a little bit corny and funny, they were getting laid. And then you really kind of see the truth about the world. And what I like about pickup is the science of it, is that you kind of see the reality of what people want, and the whole facade that Disney movies has put up and our ideas of relationship goes away when you see pickup and what people are really looking for. That book was like, this is what the world is really like. It's not even like pickup for like, yeah, I want to fuck bitches. You're like, oh, it's all the stuff about attraction, about sales, about connecting with people, about showing off, about the image you put up. That becomes obvious in a book like The Game. That woke me up a lot.
Appreciate that.
Hey, SNEAKO, will you ever consider hosting a community debate? Like this call, for example, while you're streaming, have us debate on your stream.
Yeah, I mean, no offense, but a lot of the guy, every time I get on the Discord, a lot of like Discord people, for the most part, to the masses, you guys are weird. Like they think that Discord people are weird. It's a lot. It is. It's a lot of weird. I popped in there for a little bit on the stream last night. It's just people yelling the N-word. A lot of like weird dudes. I went on an E-date and the whole Discord server was fucking losing their minds because like.
Bro, they had a whole stage about you.
Bro, your chat was Elliot.
Well, that wasn't the creativity kit part.
No, that wasn't the creativity kit, but it was Discord in general. Discord fosters a lot of weird people, bro. And no, like a debate on this, like it'll be interesting for the people in Discord, but that's advice for you when you stream. This shit is not interesting. For the mass, for other people, for an audience, unless you're participating in it, that is cool. But if it's just a bunch of random people with no profile picture, like arguing about if God is real and about Islam and about if I'm a sellout because I was talking to girls on an E-date, then bro, I'm telling you, nobody gives a fuck. So no, I don't think that's good content. It'd be like, I'd be interested in doing it, but nobody would care. Like I'm just saying, there's no mass appeal of that, and it's just boring.
Yo, SNEAKO. How do you retain your Patreon members, and how long do they stay after they join?
My Patreon members have stayed very consistent. I've been doing it for years, and it drops off every month, but then it always really, not even that much, like 10 to 20%. The best way to retain your Patreon, and I think any exclusive content, which is good advice for everybody in here, is to stay active on there, which is pretty self-explanatory. I want to stay more active in the creativity kit. In this, for example, that's why I'm going to do 3 calls a week now. But the best way for Patreon is being active, talking to people, making the content worth it, and offering something that they can't get elsewhere. So right now I've been retaining people by posting the full live streams. I don't post the full live streams anywhere. A lot of people, like, they miss it and they want to watch it back. I post the clips, but they want to watch the whole stream. That's how I do it. Or what's really helped boost the Patreon was when I was doing the 1 minute podcast regularly. I would post, the 10 to 20 to 30 minute version on YouTube, and then the whole version would be on Patreon. So which is pretty easy to repurpose content. That's content that I probably would not post regardless or otherwise, but Patreon's a good place to put it, because if you think about it, those are your most hardcore fans. Those are the people that really want to see everything. So stuff like a 3-hour version of the 1 minute podcast, no, I wouldn't post that on YouTube, but there you go. The hardcore fans, they would really like to see that, and that got a lot of signups.
SNEAKO, how do you let go on camera and like be so authentic and like true to yourself, like without fear?
It's practice. It's a skill that you got to develop. Just like, I kind of see it as, people a lot have been saying like you need to like care about your mental health more. You need to blah, 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 blah. But it's kind of like when you go to the gym, you break down your muscles so they can get stronger. The more like hate comments I read, the more I stream more, the more I make videos and people hate it, or like you see the response to it, it kind of breaks down your self-esteem, and then you develop it back up as you keep going. So it's really the same thing. It's like doing videos and doing content is like going to the gym. It is like exercising a muscle. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it, especially if you're not that mentally strong like a professional fighter is. For example, I think the Tates had an easy time doing it, because when you go through the trials and tribulations of professional fighting and you have to put yourself in high pressure situations that much, something like fucking YouTube comments doesn't matter at all. But for the average guy, like most of the people in this call right now, content creation and like getting a whole chat and getting a comment section talking about your shit is some of the most stressful things that's going to happen to you. A lot of people don't understand how I do it, but it's just the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Hey, SNEAKO, yeah, quick intro. I've got a YouTube channel that I'm working on right now, trying to do more music related content, just like instrumentals and production stuff. But that's more like my creative side, but I want to tap into other avenues, like you said, more logical, philosophical type of things. So I was just wondering what you think about like blogging in 2022 and beyond, like written content, basically.
Vlogging in 2022?
Yeah.
I think the same advice goes for streaming. I think it needs to be secondary to something else. I think if you're just vlogging and you have nothing else going on in your life, you're gonna hit a wall. And I noticed that with these YouTubers called Your Mom's House in New York. A lot of you don't know what I'm talking about, but there's these YouTubers, Kelly Wakasa, Elliot Choi, Anne Marie, and Your Mom Ashley, and they invited me to live at their house last year, a content creator house, and I said no because
I said blogging. I said blogging, not vlogging.
Blogging?
Like written content. Yeah.
Oh, bro, nobody cares.
Okay.
Bro, I mean, who in here reads a blog?
Nope.
I mean,
that or you have to go into Substack or
That's
some
not
text.
2005 anymore.
Yeah, no, the blogging is very, very 2005.
Bro, what do you mean? That's how I find my daily recipes.
Are you memeing right now? Your daily recipes? All right, bro. I mean, yeah, if that's it, but okay, there you go. You're gonna have a niche audience. If you want to do blogging, like, yes, there is a market for that, but it's much smaller than something like vlogging. I recommend vlogging, like but same thing with blogging. I guess the advice can get, like, it's got to be secondary. If you put all your balls in that basket, it's not gonna work.
Fair enough.
All right, so SneakoLit. All right, I'll go. Look, I have I'm trying to start this street interview series, inspired by you, Steven Crowder, It's Complicated, all that shit. I posted video and reactions. I can post it again if you want to watch. Yeah, it's not important. But basically, my question is, what's the best way to approach people when you're trying to get them to do it? Because I just be going up to them, asking them like, yo, you want to answer some questions, but like, do you think there's a better way to do that?
Yeah, no, you saying that, I don't want to do it. Yo, you want to answer some questions? Fuck out of here.
No, I mean, not like that, obviously, but like,
okay, pretend. Okay, say it right now. Pretend you're walking up to me in the street. How you gonna say it?
All right, so I would be like, so my last video was open-mindedness, right? So I would walk up to you, be like, yo, you want to answer some questions, find out how open-minded you are, type shit.
Fuck out of here, man.
You would say type shit, or are you just saying that right now?
No, I'm just saying that right now.
Try to say it as like you would say, and I'll do. You want me to do mine first?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm doing a school project in open mindedness. You mind if I ask you just one quick question?
Get
I
off
wouldn't
my
stutter.
case, man.
That was bad. No. Hold on. Hey, I'm doing a school project in open mindedness. Can I ask you a question? Yeah, sure. See, you need to be excited about it, and you also don't need to care that much about them. If you show that you're afraid of their rejection, then they're not going to want to do it. If you're just like, hey, I'm doing this video. Do you want to? If you're excited, it sounds cool. Then like, yeah, sure, I'll do it real quick. That was better, right? The second one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I mean, no, I like.
Also, I like
don't
saying
think
school project. See, people don't like doing a
that's
corny
definitely
YouTube
a smart
video.
idea.
I always lie and I say school project because then people don't think it's weird. They're like, oh, I'm just doing this. I'm doing a project on open-mindedness. You mind if I ask you a question? They'll be like, yeah, sure. It's like this quick
that's
little thing. It's some fun.
Because I was just walking around telling people it's for a YouTube video, but like,
Nah, nobody wants to do a YouTube video for some corny YouTuber with 200 subscribers.
facts. All right, appreciate it.
Next question.
Yo, I'm trying to do thumbnails. How can I get into that?
Trying to do
right now,
thumbnails?
I don't really have. I don't have any good like. I have a Chromebook, which is basically just a phone, but it's a laptop. I've been trying to use like free versions, but it's like really bad. I'm doing stuff like clipping on my like this is an old phone. Like this, I could barely.
Bro,
hear
you're
that right
answering your own question in your question. The answer is get a better laptop. Like if you want to do Photoshop, then like right now you're just holding that as an excuse to why you can't do it. I have a Chromebook, so I can't do what I want to do. Get a better laptop, and then you can do it.
You can also do Photopea online. It's like a free version of Photoshop.
I was just about.
Has a lot
You can do
of
Photopea, but
Tons of-
you're
yeah,
hold
tons of
on.
Chrome ones.
But you're gonna be 5 steps behind all the people who have Photoshop. Why would I hire you when I could hire somebody for $20, $10 a thumbnail who has Photoshop?
Yo, Sneak, I have a question. I'm not trying to play around with my videos. I'm trying to have like high production value, like just to start, like even to start for my first video. What do you recommend anything for like paying editors or paying people to make thumbnails? Like where to go?
I think you should go in this
Right
Discord
here,
server.
bro.
Yeah, right here. This
Yo,
is the
I'm
place
literally
for it.
just starting the effects right now.
There
Yeah,
you go.
look at my bio.
I do thumbnails, I do editing, bro. Hit me up. Like,
There you
right
fucking
here.
go.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Nico, how do you manage the chaos of storytelling videos and just like the chaos that comes with a large project where there's tons of B-roll, that kind of thing?
It takes a lot of time, and I don't do it all at once. I like to see my way of doing those types of videos is not do it all at once. I'm not just gonna have 10 folders of footage and I'll do it. I'll probably record and have 2 folders and then edit that up and then go back and then record more and get another 2. I like to spread it out, and I don't just like to sit there and be overwhelmed by the editing. I need to go outside too. You need to live a balanced life, and it's the same thing goes for your work. If you're not filming or editing and writing, if you do it one thing all at once, it's going to be overwhelming. So you edit for a little bit, then you go out and film, then you go out and write, and then repeat. Not just for maximizing time, but so that your brain doesn't go fucking nuts and exhausted of doing it. What's really important about managing big projects like that is making sure you don't fucking hate the project you're doing. Because if you hate it, then it's not going to be art anymore. It's going to be a chore. You need to enjoy the process because you could see it in the final result. If you don't enjoy it, it's seen by the audience. You can always tell when somebody liked making a video and someone didn't.
And do you also plan out everything ahead of time in the writing? No. Do you edit and go as
I'll
you
film, then write, then edit, then change something, then film, then write, then edit. I go back and forth. I think that's the power of being a YouTube content creator compared to like working on a giant studio with like deadlines and guidelines and 30 people working on it. When you have the freedom of doing every single role in the project, scripting, directing, writing, acting, then you can do whatever you want. And so I like going back and changing things because I don't get ideas all at once. It's not like I get an idea, then I storyboard it, then I write it, then I shoot it, then I edit it. I get ideas while I'm editing, while I'm shooting, while I'm writing. So I like to do all of it. It's just like one big collage of work. I don't think of anything in terms of like, this is the time to edit, this is the time to write. It's just I'm making a video and there's stuff I need to do. Does that make sense?
Tons. Yeah. Thank you so much, bro.
Yo, SNEAKO.
Go ahead. Someone ask a question.
Okay.
I got a question.
I'm gonna take this spot real quick. SNEAKO, what is the one question? Because we're honestly just asking a lot of like philosophical questions. What is the one question that we're missing to ask you?
I don't think you're missing anything. I think all the questions, these are good questions to ask. And I'm telling you, you're not really missing. There's no, see, I think you asking that right now is like, what's the secret? Like, how do I really do it? It's the same thing when it comes to like people working out, people trying to get rich. There's no quick answer to any of this. It's all comes through hard work and everything like that. So maybe that is the overall answer that you can get from all these questions is that it takes work. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It takes a lot of work and it's not easy, and you have to do it every single day. Like that one question, like I want to do Photoshop, but I don't have a good laptop. Get one.
Get a new laptop, bro.
Yeah. So it takes work, and it's gonna have to take you. Now the follow up is I don't have enough money, so make enough money. Try to make enough money doing the other program, and then get a better laptop, so then you can use Photoshop. You know the answer to a lot of this stuff. It's just that the work is hard. I'm not trying to tell you to skip the process. It's going to be a hard but as long as you are working hard, so many people are fucking lazy and wasting their time on social media and just like spending their energy on bullshit. That if you're working hard every day, you are ahead of 95% of people.
Hey, yo, SNEAKO, I don't have a question, bro. I got statements, man. Yo, I want to say, I kind of stopped funding weed for the last 2 weeks, bro. The focus, the drive, and being able to cut out distractions has become far more efficient when I cut out the weed and all that, bro.
That's a big one. Yeah, that's a big one, and that's a good. That goes hand in hand with hard work. If you're wasting time and money and like just a bunch of mental energy on smoking weed, you are falling behind other people. The people like right now in this call who are probably, when I hang up, they're going to go network people. The people are going to go smoke weed are falling behind. And this is all a competition. Trying to get money online, trying to succeed in any form of business, you're competing against other people. You only succeed because somebody else is not succeeding. That's the truth of it. That's something that liberals don't want to acknowledge. To get up, it's because relatively you're doing better than somebody else.
That's fucking word, man. And a lot of it's been getting done, man. So guys, stop smoking weed, stop jacking off, get to it, man.
Facts.
Also, if this is a personal
Fucking
question,
wow,
you have to answer it, SNEAKO. But I'm actually curious. So, how do you actually plan to make your $1 million in a year to hit the goal that you kind of set with the Tates? I believe it's around 80 to 85K a month that you have to hit. Is it mainly going to be on the digital product front, or is it mainly focusing on the content creation front? How do you plan to kind of hit that over the next year or so?
My bread and butter is with the content creation. I think that's the best way. I diversify my money, and I'm not making most of it from the creativity kit. I would say right now, I'll be honest, like most of it's coming from the stream clips I'm posting, the Google AdSense that comes from that. Even though I have like some of literally the lowest CPM. Jordan Welch finance videos, for example, make 6 times more.
Yeah, it's insane.
They dead ass, bro. They get 6 times. If I was getting Jordan Welch CPM for the amount of views I'm getting, I'd be making $1 million a month. I'm serious.
Facts.
But mine's really low for the shit that I talk about. I have to get a lot of demonetization, but I'm getting I'm getting a lot of views on like every single stream clip I post. That's the bread and butter, and that's what I'm the best at. I know that I can focus on that the most. Yes, I have side businesses. I'm working on different projects all the time, and I like to put my, I'm making pretty good money on crypto too, but my bread and butter is with the stream. That's what I'm best at, so that's the best thing for me to focus on, and I'm going to follow that. That's how I'm going to get my mill.
Very cool. So the biggest risk is ultimately getting
demonetized.
Yeah, gotcha.
Y'all got one more thing. How do you mainly gain more confidence within yourself and the things that you're doing?
How do I get more confidence? I think it comes from becoming better and improving too. See, if you become confident and if you get more arrogant and more full of yourself without any results, then you're just delusional. So you only become more confident if you're constantly succeeding and improving. Like right now, I'm in a better apartment in Miami that's 4 times the rent that was in. I just moved out of Brooklyn. I moved out of the hood. I'm in a better place. I am living better. I'm able to do better things. My life is upgrading. So as a result, I can be more confident too. The reason that I've been so confident on YouTube is because of all the achievements that I've made. Dropping out of school, paying off my student loans, hitting 1 million subscribers on YouTube. You talk a lot of shit. You believe in yourself a lot. But if you have no results, then you're just a fucking asshole. So you got to actually have something to show for it too, which I have.
Yo, SNEAKO, do I gotta move to New York City for the creative energy on the grind?
It's good, but it's not completely necessary. See, New York City is really good if you want to. It will help you tap into an artistic mindset that a lot of people don't have. I see a lot of people in this call. They're online entrepreneurs, like stuff like dropshipping, e-commerce, crypto, stuff like that. You can do that anywhere, but New York will keep you around a different type of culture and this artistic energy that you don't get in any other place. So if you want to make cool different videos, that's a good city to go to.
Cool. And would you ever have like an in-person event for us?
Yo, whoever's typing, can you shut the fuck up? Who is that? Fuck. Are we a question?
Yeah, it's one guy.
Would you ever have an in-person event for creativity kit people?
That's a good idea. I actually would. But I don't think I could do meetups anymore because of the doing a meetup where I'm like in a random city, like, yo, pull up in the park. I'm gonna be at this location at this time. The amount of hate I'm getting, bro, that's just like putting a target on my head. There's no.
You're gonna get pop smoked.
Well, it has to be like a
don't
private
say
event.
that.
We have to like sign up at the door. Like we have to provide proof we're creativity kit members. You know.
Yeah, I got to do that, and also I'm getting to the point where it's like if I do a meetup and I have draw people in, I have to sell tickets. That's
for
I
the
gotta
right
security.
price, man.
There you
For the
go,
right price
stop.
on Grand Theft Auto, man. I could be a shooter, B. For the right price on Grand Theft Auto, man.
What the fuck?
Hey,
Okay, so
I
you're chilling
want to
out.
know about sponsorships. So, like, I'm starting a business, right? And I'm gonna be emailing like YouTubers and stuff to promote my product. So, I want to know from your perspective, since you're a YouTuber, like, what kind of emails would you instantly turn down, or what kind of emails would you be looking to accept? Things like that.
So it's pretty obvious when you're a YouTuber, you can filter out the brand deal emails. So what you're trying to get YouTubers to sign up to your brand deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious to tell, like, hey, we worked with Mr. Beast and Eric. I'm like, okay, you send this to everybody. You have to personalize the email. And a lot of them, they try to do that, and it's really obvious, like, hey, the SNEAKO, I love your videos. And you can just tell that they copy-pasted your username, and it's a copy-paste message, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they put your @ and they have the capitalizations correctly, you need to add 3 to 4 sentences in the beginning to show that you've actually seen their videos, which is hard to pull off, and if you're doing it to a lot of different creators, you're gonna get tired of it, and you're most likely you're not even gonna fucking care about their content. But that will make the difference. The brands that I could always tell when somebody actually watches my content, and I'm way more likely to work with somebody that actually fucks with my shit rather than just a copy paste. Oh, brand deal. I don't answer to those.
Wow, thank you.
Oh, and having a good profile
Yo,
picture, having a profile picture with a suit, you know what I'm saying, like a associate manager on the bottom, that shit kind of helps.
Okay.
You know, a good profile picture makes a big difference for me.
Yeah. So, SNEAKO, right? I do music, and I'm also a martial artist, and I'm trying to balance all that with school right now. I'm homeschooling, so that makes it easier. But like, I'm kind of at like a bit of a crossroads here, right? Because I'm putting together songs for an album right now, and one of my favorite rappers said that once I dropped the album, he would take me on tour with him, and that's where I'm kind of stuck because I don't know if I should, just stop doing school and go on tour and make a lot of money and all that stuff, further my career, or try to stick to doing it at home, make less money, but stay in school, which I can graduate this year if I wanted to.
Okay, my advice is when you hear promises like that, never believe it until it actually happens. So that sounds like a whole career-changing opportunity, but I've heard the same thing. I've even heard it from Luke Belmar when I was telling him that I wanted to start the creativity kit. He's like, "Nah, just join Capital Club. Like, you never have to worry about money again." And when you hear somebody say that, a guy with a $100 million network saying you don't have to worry about money again, a lot of people would jump on that opportunity. But I saw it through the red line. Like, I fuck with the guy and everything, but no, I'm not going to rely on another man to pay my bills ever. And look, since then, the Capital Club hasn't even started. So I'm glad I started this, and I'm glad I didn't believe him. He said that because he had more belief in his company than mine. And like, he was like talking all this big stuff, like, you never have to worry about money again. Like, yeah, I do. I'm not relying on you. And you can't ever believe, like, when you hear these big promises from like bigger artists and stuff like that, you got to realize that they say a lot of that shit a lot of the time. And then when it really comes down to it, they don't really feel like doing it. So my advice is take it with a grain of salt. I wouldn't make any major.
You gotta ask what's in it for them.
Yeah, what's in it for them, which is probably not much. So just don't make any definitive decisions until it actually happens. There's probably a way you can. There's probably a way you can do both, where you could skip a week of school, say you have COVID, and then go do the tour and see how much money it's making. And if you're really starting to make that much money from the tour, then you can reevaluate and see if you got to drop out. But don't worry right now about changing your whole life and uprooting it. Keep doing what you're doing, keep working, and you'll see what happens when it really comes time to make a decision that obvious. The money will already be right.
Yo, let me say something real quick. That's some of the best advice you guys are gonna get. This dude, he has experience. Like, I believe a lot of you guys have, like, how do I get into content creation? How do I be funny? All that stuff. You need to get out there. Like, this dude is spitting facts from experience, and experience will not happen sitting at the desk. Work at the desk, and then entertainment should happen outside. Go talk to girls. Go to the park. Go do shit. That's some really, really good advice. And I will add, school will always be there. If the opportunity arises and it's actually legit and true, go for it, and school will always be there.
Thinking, man.
Bro, why are you going to school anyway? What is school going to do for you?
Yeah, no, that's my thing, right? Like, I already learned all the necessary
Don't
shit.
like me. That's just a scam.
Yeah,
And then,
wait,
like-
are you in college or high school?
I'm in high school right now.
Oh, okay, finish that.
It's no, that's what I'm thinking, right? That's why I'm worried. That's why I'm worried.
I dropped out of high school
and by the way,
my sophomore year.
But at the same time,
Yeah,
you
that's-
also
that's
have
the
other
thing, I
people
can
here
graduate
doing music
this year
like
too.
you as well.
Yeah. Oh,
Yo,
that
but-
reminds me. By the way,
no,
Sneako,
Sneako. No, we can do the networking. Like, hi, but Sneako, how did you stay sane when you were broke and like, you know, not in the position you wanted to be? Because I'm in that kind of position right now. Like, I know where I want to go. It's gonna take some time, but it's also like I'm miserable as fuck right now because I don't got the bread.
Okay, wait, that's a valid ass question, but I know you didn't just cut off the networking event.
No, the networking can happen after the Q&A because I'm
Yeah, that's
about to
what I
get
was
off in
saying.
3 minutes and prepare for my stream.
Alright.
That was a good point.
Yeah.
I do want you guys to keep networking after I get out of here. This will be my last question. I think how I stayed sane was that I just loved the fact that I didn't have a job. The fact that I when I dropped out of school and I was just doing YouTube full time, there was like a year where I was making like maybe $2,000 to $5,000 a month, and I loved it. I loved the whole part of it, and I was never miserable. I felt happier. Like, people say this all the time. Like, me making my $2,000 to $5,000 a month, I thought was worth like $20,000 working a 9 to 5. Just like the fact that I'm just on my computer, running around making YouTube videos with my camera, like the I don't know, like living in a college house and then everybody else is in school and I could stay home and just make YouTube videos. That was dope. I never really desired money to that extent. And people are calling me money hungry now. That's never really been it. I like to have the freedom of it, and I've reevaluated, but I just loved doing what I was doing so much that mattered more. And I would say, like, I made enough money to feed myself and everything like that, and I just love the fact, like, man, I'm doing my dream job, and I'm making enough money, you know, from YouTube. Like, this is all I ever wanted to do.
Okay, making the money from YouTube versus working a 9 to 5 was more worth it to you. Okay.
Yes. Than being rich and
Got
working
it.
a 9 to 5. And also, I believed in myself. I've been doing
Okay.
myself.
Having that-
so much.
Follow up question to that one, right? Do you
Last
think-
one, I got to get out of here, though. I got to prepare
Alright,
for my stream.
do you think getting a 9 to 5, like while you're working on all your creative shit, is worth it, or do you think I should just like focus on e-com and shit?
I think you should work your 9 to 5 too. That's the bread and butter. That's where a lot of revenue is coming in right now. And it's probably not that hard. My girl, for example, she works in an investment bank, and we just got like fucking no homo. We just got facials. She was like supposed to be on call the whole time. She took 3 hours off, and then she came back. Her computer was on, and she wasn't there. It didn't even matter. A lot of 9 to 5s, you can really finesse it. Can you finesse your 9 to 5?
I finished my
yeah,
9 to 5.
definitely.
I work
probably-
200K. I work 4 hours a day. I put a lock on the caps lock, and I fuck around most of my day.
There you
SNEAKO's
go.
absolutely.
You can finesse that shit. So don't quit it yet. I know you don't. But 9 to 5, it is an example that people use a lot of, the Matrix and everything. But at the end of the day, like if you're making like 100K a year for something you could keep caps lock on, pretty damn good. The fact that you could just do this shit on your computer and go around, like, you know, don't quit it yet.
All right. Thank you very much.
Was the
Nico,
1 minute
for answering our
podcast dead?
questions.
No, it's not dead. I'm going to continue that. But yo, guys, I got to keep networking in here, keep talking. A lot of people were wondering where you can get a thumbnail editor. I want you guys to keep this conversation going. I'm going to get ready for my stream. I enjoyed this. I think this was a good call. For the people who missed it, I will be uploading this. I recorded my video and audio. So yeah, we'll have another call on Monday. Get your questions ready. This was good. It was not, you know, nobody was trolling and shit. Like, I think this was positive.
Yo, Sneako, thanks a lot.
Yo, take it easy, y'all.
Appreciate it, bro.
Appreciate it.
Alright, see you in the Sneako.
Bye. There's one girl in here?
Have a good one, Sneako.
Yeah.
8%.
I'm sorry, I don't really read blogs.
Wait, I want to stay now.
That's it.
Your job?